Hello, I'm Steve. Thank you for visiting the Patio Heat channel, where we provide visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for ideal patio comfort. Please check out our website, patioheat.com, for sales and more information. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful, as it helps others find our channel. Now let's get heating. Alright, so here we have this residential application, and you can see here we have a seating area, and we have a roll top door, a door over here that goes in or opens into the residence, and then we have a couple of fans and some lighting up in the ceiling. And let's go right into the design here. Alright, so overall dimensions, we have 35 feet by 12.5, and then we have a ceiling height of roughly about 9 feet 10 inches to this flat ceiling up here. The fans that I have represented here are a little bit larger than the actual fans. This circular area here is the actual dimensions of 4'4", and I think that's about it. We have some other dimensions here we'll talk about in a minute. Basically, we have this dining space here, and then we have this open space here. I'm not quite sure what the use is. There is a bar over here, so maybe there's some bar stools. Not quite sure 100%. So let's go ahead and turn off those dimensions and see what we can do. So I have actually a couple of different ideas for this, and we'll try to go through them very quickly. First one would be the owner's request, which would be to have some packs on this outer edge. They do have some pre-existing gas lines over here, so I'm sure this is something that they're really looking at the possibility of having. The heaters I have represented here are S34s, and this is in a area that the climate changed pretty drastically during the winter months, so you'd probably want a good amount of heat out here when utilizing the space. So these are S34s, and when you angle an S34, it requires a greater clearance. The clearance here, I believe, is let's turn on that dimension again here. I think it's 18 inches. Yep. So 18 inches from the ceiling. I didn't move the brackets properly here, so the bracket would actually come down a little bit more. But you'd use this length of bar and cut it to the dimension that you're looking for. There are pre-cut holes in this bar here, so that it'd be easy to mount. But yeah, so it does require quite a bit of clearance when you use an S34 at an angle, and so I wanted that to be displayed here. And also, if you used a 25,000 BTU heater, you can move this up 4 inches. So just bear that in mind. The reason I have these other dimensions here, number one, I wanted you to see the height off the ground would be 7'4 3/4, and then this is to represent the intensity, basically, of the heat ray. So let's turn the heat ray on here, and you can see if you were sitting here in this chair, you're 4 feet 10 inches. Well, the chair is 4 foot 10 inches away from the heat ray. This is light, infrared light wave. Light wave travels through space, and then it absorbs into mass, being the tables, chairs, floors, human body. And if you're in the light wave, you'll feel the warmth. If you're outside the light wave, you will not feel the warmth. So you really want to make sure that you're utilizing the heaters appropriately for that. But something to note, that for every foot away that you are away from the source of the heat in this particular model, the intensity is divided by 4 with infrared heat. So very quickly is your the intensity is reduced here at this seating space here. And also, just to note, because of the height off the ground, your footprint of heat, even though it'll be absorbed into the floor, and you can see here that the footprint of heat's not being utilized to its best ability, just based on the fact that it's going to be absorbed into the floor here, and a very strong heat wave is going to be down here. So something I just wanted to mention. So this application would be okay. I don't have a big issue with it. However, I do not like the visual disruption here that I see. So it's not my first choice, but it is something that would work, and it may work just fine for this particular application. So that's one way of doing it. Now I'm going to show you a different option with gas heaters. Let me just turn this off for a second. There we go. And then the second option would be to place some gas heaters up this way, so you can move the heater up a little higher and then also get the spread out as far as possible. However, based on the fact that it still is closer to the ground still, and let's just go back here and show you the comparison here. You can see that we're about 4 inches. It's actually a little bit more because of the fact that this is an 8x8 section, and when you angle it, the tip here to here is going to be probably like 9.5 inches. No longer will it be 8 inches like from here to here. So yeah, you can see that this is going to be a little bit closer to the ground. But I'm going to turn that off again. Let's go ahead and see by the way, I have this at 18 inches off of the edge of the fan, the actual fan width. I think we're okay with the can lightings. However, there's a question regarding the speaker, I think that's over here. Now, the way that this is designed is that when the exhaust gases are flowing out of the vents, that the material closest to it, when you meet the clearances to combustibles, that the ambient temperature of those materials are only increased by about 90 degrees. So something to think about, can that speaker handle an increase of 90 degrees or more above ambient? Is something to think about. So you may want to move it, you may not, but this is the best layout for this application that I can come up with. So let's go ahead and look at the ray here. These again are S34s, so the ray is again closer to the ground, so it's tighter, and you're not hitting the seating properly, but it would be something that you would feel warmth around here and around here. It's just this would be a little bit compromised here. So, and then the same is true over here, just to look at the the footprint of heat over here. And I'm going to turn this off again and turn the other one on just so you can get a comparison. So if you're sitting here in the chair, your upper body is going to be over here, and you probably won't feel much of this heater at all. So just bear that in mind. Going back to this, you can see you got a better footprint of heat with this layout. Now I'm going to also just move these heaters up additional 4 inches, and that would represent with the heaters as a S25. So an S25 requires 9 inches of clearance up here. So you can see that now we get a little bit better spread, in the middle here. It's not much, but it's a little bit better, and something to consider, if you wanted 25,000 BTU heaters instead of 34s. But I think in a colder climate, as cold as this gets during the winter months, I would say 34 would be more comfortable if that's something that you would consider. So all right, so that's the gas options, and I'm going to change the ceiling into placing some openings to make some flush mount options here. And I want to go ahead and put in some electric units. Now these are 6,000 watt flush mount finished Infratech heaters, 24 volt, or sorry, they're 240 volts at 25 amps a piece. There's 4 of them here. I do have them again at clearance of 18 inches from the heater, not the flush mount kit itself, but the heater itself, to this edge. I do have the flush mount kit exposed, so it's surfaced mounted as opposed to placed on top of the finished ceiling. You can do that if you get really creative. You would have to cut an exact hole in. I think this is a wooden ceiling, so you'd have to cut an exact hole and then bring the flush mount kit inside the ceiling and then drop it down, fix it to the structure. That would be very difficult, I think, but it's something that somebody that with the right ideas can accomplish. So in any case, these are the 6,000 watt units again, and I have them placed 16 inches away from the fan. on both sides, and we would have to remove the speaker and maybe move it over here, and same with this one over here, and the same goes over here, 18 inches, 18 inches, and they're also centered in the patio itself here. So let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. I'm going to turn off the dimensions here, and you can see that this footprint of heat is a lot wider, and that's just because it's higher and it's spread out further because it is light, and as light travels, it spreads and stretches and dissipates. So you can see that you got a nice, a lot nicer of a coverage, I would say. And the same goes for over here. We got some good coverage as well over here. The other nice thing about the Infratech heaters is you can adjust the units, so you can make them from 100% to 1% on, and adjust the level of intensity that you're looking for that particular occasion. So, okay. All right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like to have us review your plans, please send your information to designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve, and again, please tap that like button. We don't advertise, we don't monetize, therefore YouTube will not promote our channel unless we receive your appreciation, and we thank you very much for that. Thank you, and have a great day.